There's just 66 days until Election Day. You heard me, 66. The first ballots will be mailed out in just 6 days. And Vice President Kamala Harris is showing up in places that haven't seen a presidential nominee in quite some time. Harris took her bus tour with Governor Walz to Southeast Georgia this week, working to make gains in the battleground state. According to her campaign, a presidential candidate hasn't stomped in Savannah during a general election cycle since the 1990s. And while in Savannah, Harris sat down for her first major interview as the Democratic nominee. Here's how she explained a shift on some policy goals.
I think the most important and most significant aspect of my policy perspective and decisions is my values have not changed. I believe it is important to build consensus. And it is important to find a common place of understanding of where we can actually solve problems.
Joining us now, LaTosha Brown, co-founder of Black Voters Matter Fund, and MSNBC political analyst Kimberly Atkins-Stohr. She's also a Boston Globe columnist and co-host of the hashtag Sisters-in-Law podcast. Welcome to you both.
Welcome, welcome. So, Kimberly, let me start with you because lots of fanfare had been made by Republicans and some folks in the media apparatus about the lack of an interview from Vice President Harris, even though, Joe Biden was the nominee like a month ago. So please spare me without...
Don't get her started.
Please, context, I thought context mattered, but maybe not. So the Vice President did an interview. From a communications perspective, I thought that she and Governor Walz went out and did what needed to be done. She made a little news. It did no harm. But I'm wondering what your take is on the interview.
Yeah, she looked like she was very much in control. My favorite was the narrative that she needed Governor Walz there as some sort of crutch, because God forbid a black woman be able to form complete sentences in an interview by herself. But certainly she did not need him.
Notice how the rules and the bar changes.
Absolutely.
Somebody else at the top, because candidates usually do interviews with their running mates. Donald Trump, J.D. Vance,
Bush
Joe Biden, Bush, Cheney. Literally everyone. It's what you do.
100%. But she went out and she did a good job. I loved the way that she dismissed questions about Donald Trump's racist attacks on her, because that's not her business, that's his. But I also liked the way that she talked about how her positions have, quote unquote, changed. To me, that sounded like pragmatism. She got into the White House and she realized to achieve the goals of furthering climate policy, it takes compromise. It takes bringing people to the table. That's pragmatism. That's not a shift. A shift is what Donald Trump did in the same day, where he was for a 6-week abortion ban before he was against it within 24 hours. And I also loved her talking about why wouldn't she bring a Republican into her administration. We forget that that's something that presidents always did. Obama did it. Bush did it. That was normalcy. But suddenly we're in an era, because of the focus on Trump, where everything is so tribal, and she's being a leader in that position. She's acting like presidents always have, and it's like the nation's forgotten that. It's not that she's changed, it's the nation has.
LaTosha, there are a couple of, I love the fact that Kimberly used the word normal in part of her answer, because there are a lot of aspects of this campaign that are normal, that are not normal. And what is, from a political stance, not normal is going someplace you haven't won, where the people, your team, typically tells you, oh, I don't think we should waste our time or our resources there. This candidate, Kamala Harris, running for the presidency, has a different approach. And I'd like you to listen to what she talked about, how she talked about Georgia voters and how Georgia has delivered. Let's listen.
Georgia, for the past 2 election cycles, voters in this very state, you who are here, have delivered. You sent 2 extraordinary senators to Washington, D.C. You sent President Biden and me to the White House. You showed up. You knocked on doors. You registered folks to vote. And you made it happen. You did that. You did that. And so now we are asking you to do it again.
So you have, blue state Georgia That's the thinking. I like it. It's aggressive. It's in your face. The interviews and all of that stuff are, that's fodder for the press. But you're on the ground with real people in a state like Georgia. This kind of movement in a space where Democrats typically have been outflanked or not played well in the past says that she's taking places like Georgia very seriously. How do you see that translating on the ground in the work you're doing?
Oh, if you were there, the kind of energy and excitement that's there. I think there were three real core messages that she sent. The first message is that every voter matters, that ultimately she went to rural Georgia, which is a place that when you're looking at the numbers is nowhere near when you see Metro Atlanta. But what she's saying is not only is she going to be the president to govern in urban areas, but also she wants to connect to voters who are out in rural America. The second thing is I think she's saying she's in it to win it. That what we know that Georgia, when you look at Georgia, particularly in the last few elections, while the urban center, that's where the bulk of the votes came from, what you saw is Biden did much better in the rural areas, that the margin of victory from in those counties that are normally Republican, that if you shave off some of that, then that also increases your ability to be able to win the state. And I think the third thing is, I think it's really interesting that one of the first places she went to was a high school, and then she went to small businesses. I think she's sending a message with her campaign is that she is going to center everyday people, that she actually is going out for the vote for young voters and also for voters in rural America and voters who literally are connected around small businesses.
That's such an important observation, Latasha, because I do think that the vice president does have a kind of a laser focus, if you will, on small businesses. I think one of the first events she did when I worked for her at the White House, when we got there, was a round table, virtual because of COVID, with small business folks that she had met on the campaign trail to let them know that the promises she and President Biden made, they were going to follow through on. You talk about Georgia, and Chatham County is the county that Savannah sits in, and we want to put this up on the screen for folks. Secretary Clinton won 15,349 more votes than Donald Trump in that county in 2020. Biden won 25,015 more votes than Trump. That is like a net gain of a little over 9,600 votes. That is where Savannah is. And so I think growing the margins here, Kimberly, I mean, this is how you put other states in play. This is how you make sure that Georgia in 2020 wasn't a one-off, and that this, in fact, could be the norm. Georgia might be a purple state.
Yes, I think that that's absolutely right. And I think that it is important, particularly for Democrats, to go out not only because, elections are won in the margins and the map that you just showed, but just even to areas. Kamala Harris has been going to areas that have voted Republican. She's been going to red counties and other places. When you are president of the United States, you are president for everyone. And I think that outreach makes a difference. It makes voters feel seen. It is not just people sitting here in Washington making all of the decisions for them and forgetting that. And I think that she is mindful of that. She's mindful that she wants to connect across the board in the way that Donald Trump certainly is not doing. He's doing most of his campaigning from Mar-a-Lago or
one of his country clubs.
Or the golf club. And she's doing something entirely different. I think that that's a really good choice that her campaign is making.
Latasha, Kimberly referenced earlier Donald Trump's misogyny and racism in his approach to candidate Harris. I'd like you to listen to the question from Dana Bash about that to Vice President Harris.
He suggested that you happened to turn black recently for political purposes, questioning a core part of your identity.
Yeah. Same old tired playbook. Next question, please.
That's it?
That's it.
All right, so just for the record, every black person has made that face.
This is the face.
It's just the face, right? It's like, really? This is what you got.
It's like, okay, I'm going to answer, but...
I'm going to answer, but the face aside, which actually was the answer, which we can't say on a family show, the fact is that she is above that. She's putting herself above that. Let Donald Trump stay where he is. She's trying to elevate voters. We've been in that place for almost 10 years now. And so she's trying to elevate it up by not leaning into that. What do you think of that strategy?
One, I think it was a brilliant answer because I think we have to really understand the character of racism. The character of racism is to make people feel like that you have to defend your humanity. That ultimately you've got to justify your presence on this very earth, that your identity is always in question and who you are. And what I think that she did in her message is said, no, I'm not doing that, that I am not going to justify who I am, my humanity or my identity. I'm not going to feed into a racist trope that we know Donald Trump uses and weaponizes. And so I think it was a brilliant answer. And I think it sent a message loud and clear that she is not going to allow Trump to define her, that she is going to stand who she's always been, and that ultimately she is so far above that she's not even going to even consider entertaining that question.
I was putting my collection plate together for the sermon that you was just preaching, Latasha. We was over here like, yes, yes.
Well, Latasha, you put your finger on a point that I made very much during my time as chairman of the RNC and afterwards, that, you know, the one thing that I found offensive in the whole birtherism thing was the fact that, you know, this was, you have to prove why you're here. And you put your finger on that very important point, and we thank you for it, because we don't have to prove. We've been here for 400 years. You here because we were here. That's how it works. You here now because we were here.
No longer justifying our existence.
That's right.